Hello, peeps. This is Jonathan Goodman again, licensed mental health counselor and now registered yoga teacher, and your Whispering Rock here for today. And welcome to the second meditation that I'm posting on YouTube for others to practice with. I'm hoping this one will be better as far as background noise and where you see my eyes looking. Perfection is a thing for me, as is practicing some vulnerability, so I just wanted to let you all know that I'm still working on making these things up to my snuff. Please feel free to, if you have any comments that you'd like to place down below, if you are able. If you have any ideas about what would improve these practices or what you'd like to see. Last time I started with a mantra-based meditation with the loving kindness, and today I want to take it back to basics a little bit with another practice that you'll probably find a lot of different places. It is called the mindful body scan. It can be a simple practice for many, but don't get it twisted. That can still mean that it's challenging for some people, or really everyone, because even if the practice is simple, controlling our attention is really hard in a world that wants us to be constantly distracted and multitasking. The body scan is just going through as a practice to go with each body part as we kind of go up from the feet to the head eventually, and paying attention. So as with the loving kindness, as I said before, you'll probably find a lot of different versions of this online, probably ones that are like 5 minutes long, ones that are 30 minutes long, or ones that are as long as this one here today. So I am happy that you're here practicing and using this resource as well. And again, if you have any thoughts or feelings about what you'd like to see or what's helpful, please feel free to put them in the comments below if you can. So without further ado, we're going to practice. And I'm going to ring my singing bowl once to bring us into the practice, and I will ring it again as we end. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, you can close your eyes. If not, you can bring your eyes to a soft focus. Just finding something you can bring your eyes to a relaxed gaze with and focus there. And sit however is comfortable. You can also lay down if you'd like. Some people find that practicing the body scan is a little easier if they're laying down. Do what's right for you. And when you feel ready, when you feel comfortable, bringing your attention to your breath. Traditionally, we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. You can breathe however is comfortable for you. Again, this is your practice. You get to do what makes this as comfortable as possible. And we're starting with the breath, and we'll start with the breath in pretty much every mindful meditation that I do, because breath is an anchor for our attention. If we find ourselves lost, we find our mind wandering, we can always bring ourselves back to our breath, and that brings us straight back into our body, because it is a body experience. So let's go with that now to bring us into the practice. Feeling the breath in, feeling your chest rise, maybe your stomach expand. And then as you breathe out, feeling the air around your nose and mouth, the chest lowering, the stomach contracting. And just stick with whatever sensations you have for your breath and which are easiest for you to notice. And when you're ready, and when you feel comfortable, I'm going to invite you to move your attention down to your feet. That's where we'll start today. with our feet, and noticing anything you can notice here. Maybe noticing how your feet make contact with the floor. Maybe noticing if you're wearing shoes or any kind of footwear, how your feet feel. Is there warmth or coolness, tension or relaxation? Just allowing yourself to be curious. That's one of the most important parts of mindfulness, is a non-judgmental attitude. Not finding anything that's bad, good, right, or wrong. We just allow ourselves to be curious, and we allow whatever we notice to just be there. And just noticing again what sensations we have in our feet. Warmth or coolness, tension or relaxation. Can you notice any differences in different areas of your feet? Maybe there's pressure in one spot, or maybe one spot's warm and another is cool. Allowing yourself to investigate and be curious and just notice. And when you're ready, we move up into our legs, both the front and back of our legs, and our upper and lower legs. And noticing what you can notice here. Might there be differences in pressure in areas of your legs that are making contact with the chair or the couch or the bed? Perhaps if you're sitting up, you can feel more pressure and tension on the backside of your upper legs, your buttocks, and less pressure and tension on your lower legs, your shins and your calves. Maybe you can notice some sensations of clothes if you're wearing clothes in your lower body at this moment. Noticing those sensations of what is covered, because those sensations are things we forget as we move throughout the day. When we first dress, when we first prepare for our day, we typically might feel those sensations, but then we start to forget them. We start to pay less attention to them as we go throughout the day. And they can always be there for us if we just want to pay attention. And again, just allowing yourself to notice. Is there any warmth or coolness, tension or relaxation? What can you sense? What can you feel? What can you notice? And when you're ready, when you feel like you want to, moving up into your stomach and your lower back. There's plenty of different sensations most people can find here since it's our stomach. It depends a lot on whether we've eaten recently. So maybe if you have eaten recently, you have some sensations of fullness, noticing those. If you haven't eaten in the nearish past. Maybe you can feel some sensations of hunger or an empty stomach. Not ignoring a lower back either. Maybe we can notice our lower back expand and contract as well. Perhaps if you are sitting on a chair with your back against the back of the chair, you might even be able to feel that lower back expand and contract, changing as your breath moves through. And once again, maybe noticing any warmth or coolness, tension or relaxation. You'll hear me say that phrase a lot. I think it's a very good anchor to bring us back to sensation. And before we move further up into the body, I want to take a slight pause here and mention distraction. During meditation or mindful practice, what some people might even call contemplative prayer, it is very, very common for people to struggle with distractions. Some people, it might be a constant struggle to kind of keep our brains rooted in this moment. For some people, it might be, an occasional thing that happens. But distraction is part of mindfulness practice. In fact, I like to tell clients, and I'll tell you now, that distraction is actually part of mindful practice. Noticing you're distracted, noticing your brain has wandered, noticing that maybe there's a thought or a sensation that caught your attention and you're somewhere else, that is part of mindfulness. Noticing you're distracted is being mindful. So give yourself credit if you've noticed you've been distracted during this practice, and then just gently bring your attention back to this moment. If it's helpful, I'll give a metaphor that I loved when I was first taught it in my mindful practice, which is the train. Our mind, our brain, all the thinking parts of ourselves run on this constant train that is going to constantly run for as long as we're alive. There is no stopping it. It is just part of our experience. Even when we are asleep, even when we are dreaming, our brain is active as if we are awake and doing our normal thing. So give this train permission to keep running and keep moving, and also give yourself permission that you can step off this train gently and calmly. You can just step off of this moving train and watch it go by. You can stand somewhere separate from it. Maybe you see yourself kind of watching it from a nearby bluff or building. Maybe you're standing right next to it and you're just watching each car go by. That's okay too. Notice this thought train and just let it move by. You don't need to label any cars. You don't need to pay particular attention to anything in your mind or this thought process. You can just let it go. In further meditations, I'll give some different metaphors, but this might be my favorite, this train, because I know it's true for what my brain does. So once more, if and when, and maybe it's happened even just within some of the silences I've given here, if you find yourself traveling somewhere else on this train, ending up somewhere you did not anticipate, give yourself credit for noticing you're distracted. Gently step off that thought train and just watch it go by. And when you feel comfortable and when you feel ready, bringing yourself back to that anchor I mentioned at the beginning of the breath, and letting your breath just guide you back into your body, and bring your attention back to this moment. And when you're ready, and if you feel comfortable, perhaps bringing your attention to your upper and middle chest and your upper and middle back, and noticing what we can notice here for our body scan. Some people can feel their heartbeat here. I have always struggled with that, but some people absolutely swear they can do it. I felt it a couple times here and there in my mindfulness practice, but for the most part, I don't feel my heart. I do feel my chest rising and falling as I breathe in and out. I do feel my back expanding as I breathe in and out. This is another place where we could return to those sensations of clothes, too. If you feel your clothes on your body, bringing attention to those sensations. Perhaps that gentle caress. Again, we forget all of these sensations so quickly as we go throughout our day, but they're always there for us when and if we want to pay attention to them, when and if we want to sense them. Once again, maybe noticing any rise and fall of the chest, any expansion, contraction of your back with your breath, and allowing yourself to just notice. Perhaps even noticing some warmth or coolness, some tension or relaxation. Whatever you notice, just be curious. There is no right and wrong in this practice. Again, it's just you investigating and noticing what you can. And then when you feel comfortable and you feel ready, you feel free to follow me up into our shoulders, our arms, and our hands. And noticing what you can notice here. Are there sensations that are different in different parts of these areas? Are there areas of clothes that cover certain parts, but then there are other parts that are more exposed to the air? Is there a difference in the sensations there? Perhaps a difference in that warmth or coolness. Maybe you can notice where your hands make contact. Are they resting on the arms of the chair, on your legs? Maybe if you're laying down, you can feel them make contact with the bed or the couch. Just notice. Is there any tension or relaxation in these areas? There is a saying, I don't know how much actual scientific merit it has, and I've heard it enough that I'm willing to repeat it, is that men, or at least people who are born as men in our society, keep most of their tension in their shoulders. People born as women in our society keep most of their tension in their hips. So if you're noticing any of that tension here, can you let it be? You don't need to get rid of it. You don't need to push it away. You can just notice and give it permission to be there, at least for now. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our attention up to the last stop on our body scan today. Last but not least, our head and neck. Noticing what you can notice here. Perhaps here you can feel your breath moving in and out of your throat. Maybe you can feel the air moving around your nose and mouth. You notice any tension in your face or jaw. Again, just noticing that and letting it be. A common experience for me, revisiting that train metaphor for a second, is I can feel the sensation of thoughts, sensations, emotions, my whole thought train, my brain and mind experience. I can feel that as almost a sensation in my head, almost a buzzing or a spinning in my head sometimes. If you're feeling some of that, can you let that be there as well? And just be curious about it. One of the basic principles of mindfulness, according to some, is the idea that we are the thinker and not the thought. That we are a person, a human, who has the experience of being able to think. And those thoughts can be difficult to separate from sometimes, and it can be done. So noticing if you have some sensations of thoughts along with the other physical sensations you might have in your head and neck, and letting those be there, and acknowledging them, and noticing something else when you can. Do you feel any warmth or coolness, tension or relaxation? Just noticing again. And as we've gone from foot to head in our body scan, I like to end body scans with a bit of a breath practice again. Bringing attention to our breath throughout our entire bodies. A little imperfect in my speech today, and that is okay. Bringing our attention back through our entire bodies as we breathe. Can you breathe in and notice, maybe even pretend that you can fill your entire body from your fingertips to your toes with air as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, breathing out slowly, as if you're pouring out a glass of water. Breathing in again on your next in-breath, filling your body with air. Again, imagining if you can, that you can feel that air go all the way down to your fingertips and your toes, filling up your entire body, rejuvenating it with oxygen. And as you breathe out, feeling yourself release some of that staler air, that carbon dioxide, slowly, as if you're pouring out a glass of water. And then, at whatever speed you so choose, we're going to bring our meditation to a close for today. You can take whatever time you'd like to widen your perception outside of your body, maybe paying attention to some of the noises inside or outside of the room that you're in, maybe paying more attention to my voice. And if you had your eyes closed, you can slowly open them at whatever speed you'd like as I ring my singing bowl to conclude our practice. So I hope you enjoyed this practice today. I have many clients that say this practice is one of their favorites because it's relatively simple to just pay attention to individual parts of the body. I plan for something a little bit different for my next video. My plan for my next video is to do a version of my yoga final that I finished in this past couple weeks. Oh, it's been a long time, and yet here I am. And so I invite you to use this practice if you'd like. And if you'd like to skip the next practice because it's a more physical practice with yoga, that's okay too. And please remember, as you go out into your life and do what you like to do, please stay safe and proceed mindfully.